Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial would be discussed in this session. Let's get started with today's topic list. Today is 4th of December. The first topic is Prime Minister inaugurated InFinity Forum. Second, additional supplementary grant for Manrega. Most of the states are running shortfall with the fund which was actually being allocated. Third, Odisha, West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh to witness the cyclone Javad. So this is a name which was given to the cyclone. This is expected to reach this particular region by this, and today or tomorrow they would be reaching. Now, the second last is India cooperation plan to revive Sri Lanka's economy. And amid the COVID-19, the economy of Sri Lanka has witnessed a very much degradation and downfall. The second last is COP27 in Egypt must focus on food system. So the recent concluded COP26. Now the forecast is being given about 27, which is something very important in terms of food system. So these are some of the important editorials and news of the day. Apart from this, at the end of this video, there would be some current affairs question, and this will help you in the upcoming prelims examination. So make sure you practice a lot more question at the end of this video. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. So the first news, that is PM inaugurated InFinity Forum, something which is very important in terms of giving the fintech revolution in the country. The Prime Minister himself has addressed this. This news is important for General Studies Paper 2, Government Policies and Intervention for the Development of Various Sectors. We'll understand the detail of this news, we'll understand the context and how this particular type of news is going to be important for your General Studies Paper 3 as well. The Prime Minister has recently called a fintech revolutions to achieve financial empowerment for every single citizen of our country, right? Although government has done all the measures in terms of building a robust financial inclusion in our country, that was done through the Jan Dhan Yojana schemes also, right? तो उसके वो एक component है, but we have to see things in a larger base. So the Prime Minister has said that a significant progress has to be made to ensure that the public trust or the people trust are there in the digital ecosystem, right? Although India is a country which has witnessed the increase in the UPI payments and other QR code payments, we are among the top country in the world that has the largest number of UPI based payment or digital payment. Right? We have even surpassed China in terms of making the digital payments. Now, InFinity Forum की अगर बात करें, this is something which would be important for your prelims examination. कुछ ऐसे important points होंगे जो आपके prelims में काफी ज़्यादा relevant है. So first and foremost, this event was hosted by IFSCA, that stand for International Financial Services Center Authority, under the aegis of Government of India in collaboration with the Gift City and the Bloomberg. तो ये दो चीजें आपको ध्यान होनी चाहिए. Participant countries की अगर बात करें in this particular edition, this was the first edition. So 4 important countries, that is Indonesia, South Africa and UK. No, this is only 3 countries. Just to correct, these are the 3 countries that have participated in this forum. Now, InFinity Forum aims to bring the leading minds of the world, basically चाहे वो business हो, technology हो, इन सारी चीज़ों से related जितने भी innovations हैं जो फिनटेक इंडस्ट्रीज को बूस्ट कर सकती है, एक इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ दे सकती है, एंड टू हेल्प ह्यूमैनिटी इन लार्ज इज द मेन जिस्ट बिहाइंड द InFinity Forum. Now, what is the agenda of this forum? See, for any forum or any establishment that is there, there's a standard set of agenda that is set. तो अगर इस फोरम की बात करें, यहाँ पे कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट थीम्स रखी गई है, एंड द थीम इज दैट बियॉन्ड. हर चीज के पीछे बियॉन्ड करने की बात की गई. बियॉन्ड इज समथिंग वी नीड टू सी थिंग्स इन कंटेक्स्ट दैट वी कैन सरपास द थिंग्स, राइट? सो कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट अगर थीम्स की बात करें, 3 इंपॉर्टेंट थीम्स है: फिनटेक्स बियॉन्ड बाउंड्रीज, फिनटेक बियॉन्ड फाइनेंस एंड फिनटेक बियॉन्ड. तो 3 इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स है. वी अंडरस्टैंड एवरीथिंग वन बाय वन. व्हाट इज फिनटेक बियॉन्ड बाउंड्रीज, यहाँ पे कही गई है कि जो गवर्नमेंट और बिजनेसेस हैं वो जोग्राफिकल बाउंड्रीज के अलावे उनको आगे बढ़ने की जरूरत है, एंड दे नीड टू प्रमोट द फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूसिवनेस अपार्ट फ्रॉम डेवलपमेंट एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी। इंक्लूसिवनेस इज वेरी एसेंशियल। तो कीवर्ड्स आप जरूर ध्यान रखेंगे, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एग्जाम। Now, fintech beyond finance, right? So it called for the convergence of emerging areas such as space tech, green tech, agri tech, and sustainable development. So these three things, अगर space tech की बात करें, green tech की बात करें और agri tech की बात करें, this itself will call for a sustainable development for the entire country. Now, what is fintech beyond? जैसे मैंने आपको तीन थीम बताया, the third theme is fintech beyond. So this would focus on quantum computing, the new and advanced technology which is going to be the game changer in the coming decades. So quantum technology could impact the fintech industries, and it is going to be the future and promotions of new opportunities. So suppose if you're writing this in mains paper, अगर आप ये मेंस में आंसर लिख रहे हैं तो मेक श्योर यू हैव टू इंक्लूड ऑल दिस 3 points एंड द थीम दिस बियॉन्ड, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट हाउ यू हैव टू कंक्लूड इट। नाउ बात करें अगर मोबाइल पार्टनर्स की, that has also seen an increase. The mobile payment has exceeded the ATM cash withdrawal for the first time in the last year. And people are using more of digital payments. Either it is UPI, either it is QR based payment, any sort of digital payment that is there. Now the government has universalized the bank account with 430 million of Jan Dhan account in the last 7 years, and from less than 50% Indian having a bank account in 2014. So far 690 million rupee card have been issued. Now coming to the other important aspects, that is the advantages of financial inclusion. So the Prime Minister has said that the financial inclusion is a driver of fintech revolution, which I have also discussed with you at the beginning. Fintech की अगर बात करें, इसके 4 important pillars होते हैं. First is income, second is investment, third is insurance, and fourth is institutional credit, right? तो जिस तरह से इनकम ग्रो करती है, इन्वेस्टमेंट पॉसिबल होती है, राइट? सो इनकम इज डायरेक्टली रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द इन्वेस्टमेंट दैट इज कमिंग. इंश्योरेंस कवरेज इनेबल द ग्रेटर रिस्क टेकिंग. जब आपकी इंश्योरेंस कवरेज बढ़ेगी, देन रिस्क टेकिंग कैपेसिटी इज ऑल्सो इंक्रीज, राइट? एंड द इन्वेस्टमेंट here is also getting increased. And the institutional credit give wings to the expansion. So once you have the finances, you have the backing, the company tend to expand and tend to grow. So this is on the larger run, in the broader perspective, this is how the financial inclusion is impacting the fintech company and going to be revolutionizing the entire broad spectrum, right? Now, additional supplementary grant for Manrega, something which is important for gender studies paper 2, welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the states. So this news called for concentrations by the government, and this is something which would be additionally important to understand that how the shortfall in the Manrega fund is impacting the citizen of this country, basically the people precisely who are dependent on the scheme. So the center has sought 25,000 crore as an additional funding to the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Scheme. This was a supplementary grant or demand that was submitted to the parliament. और स्कीम अभी के टाइम पे अगर बात करें, they are running in short midway ही अभी फंड पूरे जगह से खत्म हो चुकी है. So because of this fund, it is creating a rural distress among the citizens of this country, the people who are responsible, who are actually involved in this scheme. So continuing economic distress in the rural India has led to the increased demand of jobs under the scheme, जहाँ पे 100 days की unskilled work provide की जाती है at the daily wage payout of 210 rupees. But this is also creating distress because the people are not getting jobs, and those who were already having job have not been paid well because of the shortfall of the fund that is there. फंड के शॉर्टफॉल की अगर बात करें, with 4 months remaining in the financial year, अभी December almost, this is there again, the financial year is going to start. So spending 73,000 crore rupees initially was allocated to this fund. और financial statement की अगर बात करें, now show a negative net balance of 10,244 crore rupees. So this is on the negative side, including the due payments. So this is a map, an infograph that will help you understand how as many as 27 states and union territory have utilized more than 100% of their earmarked fund, which was there in the Manrega, right? So this is a color code that will help you understand about the fund that has been allocated. You can see the black in color. This state have exhausted all their fund. The red in color shows that they have utilized 80 to 90% of their funds. These include Uttar Pradesh, some states of Odisha and Telangana. Now, last year, में COVID के time, basically we have seen that the enrollment has also increased because of the lockdown. People do not find any sufficient job, and even to sustain their livelihood, the only option left to them was to continue with the Manrega, right? So revised budget allocate की गई थी 1.1 lakh crore rupees की, which was acting as a lifeline for rural economy. And this year, Center seeks to transfer almost 25,000 crore rupees to Manrega. And this is a supplementary grant that would include for cash out almost to 22,000 crore rupees for the scheme. See, for this, your number is not important for you. जितने भी amounts की बात की जा रही है, आपको थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना. बाकी if it is essentially not required. जो budget allocate की गई है, वो आपके ध्यान में होनी चाहिए कि initially जब budget allocate की गई थी 73,000 crore rupees allocate की गई थी. Odisha, Bengal, AP to witness the cyclone Jawad. So this is something important for General Studies paper 1. Important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcano and other cyclonic activities. बात करें Indian Meteorological Department की, they have predicted that cyclone would be there in the state of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal. So cyclone Jawad has been formed in the Bay of Bengal Friday, and it is expected to reach Paradip in Odisha coast by Sunday. और जो स्पीड बताई गई है that is 90 km per hour with heavy rain in Odisha, West Bengal and North Andhra Pradesh. So we have to see, because the preparation has already been done by the NDRF team and the state government. So the IMD, that is Indian Meteorological Department, has said that the cyclone would be briefly gaining its strength and becoming severe cyclone storm and unlikely to make a convectional rainfall. तो rainfall we have to see कितनी होती है, but ये है कि जो storms होंगी, basically जो cyclonic activities होंगी, that would be on a higher side. So this is a map to help you understand about the activities that is ongoing. So you can see this is a Bay of Bengal region, and it is now impacting this region of Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and West Bengal. So Jawad currently lies in 650 km away from the Paradip. Paradip is a port in Odisha, and this is expected to reach North Andhra Pradesh by Saturday noon, that is by today. And the cyclone is expected much less intense, and the recent one, अभी जो recent में कुछ important names आपको याद रखने की जरूरत है, that is तितली, Fallon, Fanny and Hudhud. ये कुछ important cyclonic activities थे जो कि इंडिया में हुए हैं. So for examination this is important. They can ask you कि ये सारे जो नाम हैं वो किस चीज से related है, right? So you have to resemble that, because sometimes this type of question tend to be appears in the prelims examination. क्या क्या measures लिए गए गवर्नमेंट के तरफ से? The cabinet secretary, Mr. Rajiv Gova, he has asked the crisis management committee to review the preparedness in the particular state, basically Odisha, West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh की अपने क्या क्या activities हैं उनको aware कर दिया गया that you need to take all precautionary measures. The cyclone centers would be ready for the evacuation of the people. NDRF teams लगाई गई हैं, और बैकअप के तौर पे as a backup, as a standby, the army forces and the navy are also deployed. Now, India cooperation plan to revive Sri Lanka's economy. We have seen that the economy has degraded in Sri Lanka. They have pretty losses on the highest side. This is something which is important for General Studies paper 2, bilateral regional grouping and agreement, evolving India's and affecting India's interest. So because of the COVID-19, the things was not working well with Sri Lanka, and India aiding the cooperation, they have finally agreed that they would be supporting the country. So, as a part of battle to revive the COVID blatter economy, the Sri Lanka has agreed with the fourth prolonged cooperation package. और recently, जो श्रीलंका के फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर है, he met Indian finance ministers and foreign minister to get the aid done from India. तो कुछ शॉर्ट टू मीडियम टर्म प्लान्स बनाए गए हैं, चार ऐसे शॉर्ट टू मीडियम टर्म प्लान है. विल डिस्कस दैट इन डिटेल. फर्स्ट इज फूड एंड हेल्थ सिक्योरिटी पैकेज. दिस पैकेज वुड एनविसाज फॉर एक्सटेंशन ऑफ लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट, जहाँ पे इंपोर्ट की जाएगी फूड्स की, मेडिसिन एंड अदर एसेंशियल आइटम फ्रॉम इंडिया टू श्रीलंका. So this is a part of kind of aid that India is providing to Sri Lanka. The second is energy security. यहाँ पे again line of credit है to import fuel from India and early modernization of trickle-mill tank farm. Third is currency swap. This agreement will offer currency swap to help Sri Lanka address the balance of payment issues. जो balance of payment crisis होती है उसको mismatch करने के लिए, उसको पूरी करने के लिए currency swap की जाएगी. And Indian investment that facilitate Indian investment in a different sector that would contribute for the growth and expansion of the employment. So these are some of the important measures that would be taken by Indian government for Sri Lankan government, right? Now moving to the other news, that is COP27 in Egypt must focus on food system. This news is important for General Studies paper 3, conservation, environmental pollution, degradation and EIA. Also, it is important for General Studies paper 2, where bilateral, regional grouping and agreement are concerned. So what is important under this editorial? There are 5 important subheads that you have to understand. The first would be climate crisis and hunger. Second, adaptation, how urgent it is. कुछ adaptation finances की बात की गई है, measures that would be required for future course of action, and fixing the broken food system, right? तो पूरी editorial की theme है focuses on food system. So as we know that recently COP26 meeting, which was held in Glasgow, Scotland, which is in UK, and this particular session has gathered a lot of headlines, criticism and some commitment that is coming both from the developed countries and the developing countries. चाहे वो developed countries हो, चाहे वो developing countries हो, दोनों ने commit किए कि वो अपने अपने commitment को climate change से related पूरी करेंगे. So the government did not commit, the government did commit to reduce the greenhouse gases emissions and put a record shelter of almost 356 billion as a new support, contributing nation and regional government to protect the most vulnerables. So climate finance, climate aid की बात की गई है, and we have discussed the COP26 in detail, जहाँ पे climate finance is become one of the most important topic and it is very relevant for your mains examination also. Now, climate crisis and hunger, how the climate crisis is impacting the people with food security और बहुत ज़्यादा इसकी वजह से hunger भी बढ़ी है. So the agenda ending with the world hunger and the malnutrition is by the form of 2030, जहाँ पे challenges जो है वो और broaden होंगी and even the hunger is going to be heightened. And this thing, the food security environment is almost interlinked with each other. Now, there have been so far COVID-19 pandemic that has doubled the pollution for the chronic hunger and almost 130 to 270 million people are impacted because of the climate crisis, which is indirectly impacting our hunger system, right? That is indefinitely increasing it to the larger extent. एनालिटिकली अगर बात करें, जो यूनाइटेड नेशंस फूड प्रोग्राम है, उनके अपने एनालिसिस ने ये बताया कि जहाँ पे 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस तक की एवरेज ग्लोबल टेम्परेचर अगर मेंटेन नहीं की जाती है, सो इट कैन लीड टू द स्टैगरिंग 189 मिलियन पॉपुलेशन विच इज गोइंग एंड ग्रिम्पिंग अंडर द हंगर सिचुएशन. सो दिस इज द सिचुएशन विच इज कंसर्नली ग्रेव एंड द कंट्री, इवन द स्टेक होल्डर्स नीड टू टेक दिस इनटू द प्रायोरिटी, राइट? Adaptations is urgent. How this adaptation can be done? अगर बात करें resilient building with the poor and vulnerable communities, they are critical to have a food security measures, right? Government is doing their end, but adaptations अगर जब तक नहीं होती है तो इसको पूरा करना मुश्किल होगा. The focus should be there in reducing the emissions target related to essential protect the livelihood and food security for million. And there's a strong emphasis जहाँ पे ये बात की गई है that a support system is required. किस तरह के support system होने चाहिए, जिसमें finances include हो, capacity building हो, technology transfer हो, enhance ability capabilities हो, strengthening resilience and जो vulnerability जो है हमारी climate change की उसको reduce की जा सके. So these are the sort of the measures that would be required to essentially adopt, and these are the urgent measures that would be required to done in priority basis. Now adaptation finance, or you can say the climate finance, तो जितने भी developed countries इन्होंने pledge लिया था COP26 की मीटिंग में, that they would be helping the country, the developing countries, so that they can mitigate and they would get finances. तो इंडिया ने भी पिच की थी यूएस से कि वो $100 billion तक की अपनी सपोर्ट्स जो है सारे डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज मिल करके एक साथ करें. It has observed that the contribution made under the adaptation fund, at least the developed countries fund representing were comparing to the previous efforts. इससे पेरिस एग्रीमेंट के टाइम भी क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस की बात की गई, but it was not that highlighted. But during this COP26, climate finance was the major priority area. And developing countries has already need 70 billion for adaptations that could figure out the 300 billion in year at the end of this decade, right? So this is essentially required. Every country is committing to have a net zero emissions target. India ने अपने net zero emissions target 2070 के लिए set किया हुआ है. But to meet this, all sort of finances is essentially required so that we can chase this target as early as possible. Now कुछ measures जो हैं उनको fix करने की ज़रूरत है. First is creating a resilient livelihood for food security solutions that would improve the vulnerable communities. Second, adapting a climate resilient food crops such as millets, and that would provide for a nutritional security as well. तीसरी होगी enabling women control and ownerships production process, जहाँ पे assets को increase की जाए and increasing the value of additional local solutions. तो ये कुछ तीन हैं. And moving ahead, the fourth is that is promoting a resilient agriculture sector जहाँ पे sustainable opportunities हो, access to finance हो, innovation for the small and holder farmers with climate information and preparedness, right? So this is essentially required for a longer duration and sustainable farming. Fifth is building a capacity knowledge for society, government that is vulnerable to analysis, increasing food security, addressing the link between the food security and climate risk, right? So ultimately आपको ये पता चल गया होगा कि climate is inevitable, it has to be secured, and if not, it can lead to many other consequences. And first of them would be the effect of climate, which we can see in the weather force, and also it is directly impacting our food security. तो ये सारी चीज़ों को हमें ध्यान में रखने की ज़रूरत है. And even if you're writing in mains paper, you have to relate how the climate risk can definitely lead to a decremental effect in our food security system. Now, fixing the boxes for the food system की अगर बात करें, climate crisis impact all part of the food system, जहाँ पे productions, consumptions की बात की जाए, even it destroys the land and crop, kills livestock, deplete fisheries and cut off the transport from the market. ये सारे consequential हैं अगर हमने environment को fix नहीं किया. And this requirement reimagine the food system towards balancing the sustainability, mitigating हमें करने की ज़रूरत है to the climate change. इससे इंश्योर होगी that we should have a proper health, safe, quality and affordable food. Investment from the government is essentially required, right? So these all safety measures would definitely call for a lot more investment from the government. The stakeholders need to have a proper surveillance of the government programs and policy, that these are going with the length and breadth, it is actually helping the citizen of this country, right? Now, moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For the first question, the correct option is C. For the second question, the correct option is C. And today MCQ question, Maitri Setu project symbolizes bilateral relationship between India and Sri Lanka. The project is being taken by the Land Port Authority of India. I think we have done this question previously also. If you know the correct answer, do let me know in the comment section down below. Second, the SLIC 2, between which among the following countries: India, Sri Lanka, India, Japan, Russia, India and Afghanistan, India and Uzbekistan. So you have to just write the correct answer, the option of the correct answer in the comment section down below. So this was all about the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQs. If you have any other concern, do let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching.